Hi, my name is Vincent Reese from Cobblestone Freeway Tours, and I'm here to tell you about Ukraine and travel and everything you need to know about visiting this beautiful country. Ukraine is the largest country that is fully within Europe, and yet it is one of the least understood. For centuries, Ukraine was controlled by foreign powers. Now it's time for Ukraine to tell its own story, and we're here to help share Ukraine with the world. Today, we're going to take you on a tour of Ukraine based on our Great Ukraine Tour. This will show you the highlights of Ukraine and the basis for many of our tours. This is more than a series of bucket list items. It is a culturally rich travel experience that allows you to make meaningful connections with Ukraine and its people. And you're about to find out why. I'm going to tell you, 1, why Ukraine, specifically our Great Ukraine Tour, is the perfect post-COVID travel experience. 2, why Cobblestone is a fantastic choice for travelers that want experiences that take you back in time and connect to the traditions that define a place. And number 3, how our tour leaders go that extra mile to create meaningful connections that make your journey everything that you imagined. At the end, I'll tell you all about the other tours we offer and everything you need to know about travel to Ukraine. And along the way, we are going to teach you how to drink vodka, also known as horilka, the Ukrainian way, because sharing a toast together in Ukraine is more than just a drink. It's a bonding cultural experience. The relationship we establish with you is the thing that you're going to remember. And we've learned that relationships with locals are the thing that our travelers remember the most when they get home. And this is really the cornerstone of our Cobblestone brand, having meaningful cultural experiences, even if today is just over a little bit of horilka. So let's start our Great Ukraine Tour in Kiev. But first, what are the 3 main things we want you to take away from this? Our tours are, number 1, culturally rich travel experiences that create meaningful connections with the places we visit. Number 2, small groups allow for intimate experiences and flexibility. Number 3, practically our tours are all inclusive, so you aren't pulling out your wallet for nothing. From the time you arrive at Kiev's very new and modern Borispil International Airport till the time you fly home at the end of the tour, your local tour leader will be with you 100% of the time. Unlike some tours where the leader gives you free time and goes home, your tour leader, whether it's Yulia or Taras or Bogdan or Snezhana, they will become part of your 18-day travel family, along with your professional driver who will escort you around the country with skill in a first-class coach bus with lots of space to spread out and enjoy and ride in comfort. By the way, all transfers are included, so no matter when you arrive or depart, we want the booking and travel experience to be as simple and as worry-free as possible. So, first of all, Kiev is the capital of Ukraine, and it's an epic, awe-inspiring Eastern European city, famous for its golden domes, wide boulevards, throngs of babushkas, the Dnipro River, and more. You'll get to see the famous St. Sophia Cathedral, the Golden Gates, the Dnipro River, the Pechesk Cave Lavra Monastery, and of course you'll get to try chicken Kiev in the city where the name originated. Overall, you'll experience some great restaurants with a variety of traditional cuisine to suit any taste. And remember, it's all included, so you don't have to worry about figuring out the bill or tips or anything. Just relax and enjoy. Now, because we're a small group, we can move at our own pace throughout these places, which allows you more free time to wander on your own, relax, or visit something that's not even on the itinerary. And because our leaders are passionate experts in Ukraine, and they have spent over a decade nurturing relationships, you will reap the benefits of our contacts and our experience and make your experience even more meaningful. We stay right in the center of the city, usually at the Hotel Chreshchatyk, which is right on the main street, only 1 block from Independence Square, also known as Maidan. Here, during your free time, you can explore this Eastern European boulevard, listen to street music, admire the stunning architecture, or just relax on a patio, sipping a local beer or coffee. Your tour leaders will be with you at all times to help you find that perfect souvenir, explore a personal curiosity, order some food, or just practice your Ukrainian language skills. This is the beauty of traveling in a small group. with a well-paced itinerary located in the heart of the city. This will make the journey that much more meaningful. And of course, in special cobblestone style, you'll have a culturally rich travel experience with entertainment, with local folk artists, and traditional Ukrainian hospitality. Personally, I think the best way to get to know a place is through its people. And the best way to get to know a people is through their music, songs, dances, traditions, rituals, food, and of course, their drinks. So let's have our first shot of vodka. I have Zirka vodka, which is from Ukraine. Of course, vodka was invented in Ukraine, everybody knows that. And the first shot is always to getting together. But first, chkai, whoa, we must learn the special Ukrainian breathing technique. Now, I've learned this for many years of watching the old guard in Ukraine. What they do to avoid getting that sort of shock of drinking vodka, they exhale first, then they drink, and then they exhale one more time. So remember, exhale, drink, then exhale one more time. And of course, in Ukraine, we say na zdоров'я, which means to your health. Here we go. There you go. Not too bad, right? And don't worry, if you're not a drinker, we can still participate in the ritual and play along without actually drinking. So now back to our tour. Not only will we be entertained by local musicians playing traditional Ukrainian music, but they'll make you feel like guests in a Ukrainian home with stories and songs and games and laughs that will charm, delight, and warm your soul.
Let's drink. Cheers!
It's one thing to go and just see a traditional folk show. It's another thing when the artists sit amongst you and the sounds of their voices surround you at your table. This culturally rich experience can be very emotional and meaningful, and of course can only happen in our small group settings. Here's a snippet of what you'll experience. Traditional folk artists like this are really hard to find, and because of Cobblestone and all the tourists we bring, we support artists like this who are dedicated to researching, maintaining, and sharing intangible cultural heritage and other experiences with the world. This is an experience that travelers cannot have when traveling on their own, but experiencing the old world in a new way with us helps you connect with the culture that you are visiting and exploring in a rich and meaningful way. No trip to Ukraine would be complete without the romantic experience of a night train. In our case, we are off to Odessa on the Black Sea. Each pair of travelers will share a private sleeping cabin with washrooms on either end of the car. If you book a single supplement, you'll have a cabin all to yourself, and your tour leader will be close by to help with any questions that might arise. So sit back, enjoy the scenery, look out the window, and be rocked to sleep, and before you know it, we'll be by the sea. Odessa was proclaimed a hero city for its mega efforts in fighting the Germans during World War II. But what actually makes Odessa so very interesting is its multicultural nature. German, Russian, Jewish, and Greek cultures have all influenced the development of this dynamic city on the Black Sea coast, where you will enjoy a lovely treat, wine. Did you know Ukraine has some of the great wine regions? Most people don't. We're going to take a day trip to the Chabot winery, where you will learn about the history of this place, and our small group will enjoy a private wine tasting. It's a treat to be sure. And on the way home, we'll stop and you'll have the chance to dip your feet into the Black Sea. Whether it's the Potyomkin steps, the fresh seafood, the unique history, or the shopping, Odessa, which the locals refer to as Mama, will make you feel right at home. Our travelers are always ridiculously satisfied with the Londonskaya Hotel, and in the heart of the old town, where you'll quite literally feel like nobility. Not to mention, when we have a chance to experience the famous Grand Odessa Opera House for a performance and a tour, and you guessed it, this cultural experience is included. Next, we take a quick flight, which is included, to the western Ukrainian city of Chernivtsi in the heart of Bukovina, which is a place that many people immigrated to Canada from. Now, Chernivtsi is a charming city right on the Romanian border. With its unique lifestyle, cuisine, and history, you will see an architectural wonder that is the university, which is also known as the Hogwarts of Ukraine and is actually on the UNESCO World Heritage List, as well as charming buildings from the Austrian period. Your hotel is the Allure, right on the cobblestone streets in the very heart of the city, where you can safely stroll out and explore the sights and never get lost. Your tour leader will either be with you or available to you at all times. Now, you don't normally think of castles when you think of Ukraine, but we will do a day trip only an hour and a half away to Kamianets-Podilsky, which is a castle out of a fairy tale. Not only did it play an important part in Ukrainian history and holding off the Ottoman Empire from its encroachments on Europe, it is a picturesque castle in a unique biosphere on the Dniester River. It's absolutely stunning. With our small groups, we can skip the queue and see the castle quickly and quietly. And of course, entrance fees are all included. After, you'll be immersing yourself again in authentic traditions. You will be treated to a special folk concert featuring the sounds, costumes, and traditions of the region of the area, Bukovina. This small group, up close and intimate experience will send shivers up your spine, and you will fall in love with the city, this region, and these people. In Ukraine, they say the second shot must be to friendship. And by this point on the tour, we have all become steadfast friends. Now, if you're right-handed, you must drink with your right hand. Otherwise, you'll have bad luck. So don't forget the breathing technique. Exhale, drink, and exhale again. And don't forget, na zdrowie. I've always said that cities are not countries. You can't understand the heart and soul of a country if you only visit cities. So to that end, we will show you a bit of village life en route to the Carpathian Mountains, where again, you'll feel like a local because you can chat with locals and be welcomed into their homes. You will connect with Ukraine and its people in a more meaningful way because of this experience. So sit back, enjoy the relaxing rural scenery, and we will give you the chance to connect with the old world in a new way without going back in time. The majestic and legendary Carpathian Mountains are not only gorgeous to visit, they offer a calm sense of relaxation, mixed with ancient style that is reminiscent of something like maybe Hobbiton. And they have their own unique inhabitants. The Hutsul people, with their unique culture, will definitely enchant you. A special experience here, besides the fresh air and rural charm, is the Hutsul cultural experience that you will have at the home of a local Hutsul family. They will literally open their doors and share with you some hospitality, including special Hutsul food and drink, as well as their music and dance, and show you their costumes and traditions. And don't forget, this can't be done on your own or in a large group. And this is an experience that you just cannot have when you're traveling on your own. But experiencing the old world in this new way helps you connect with the culture you are exploring in a rich and meaningful way due to the relationships we have nurtured over many years.
Hey!
Будьмо!
Hey!
Будьмо, будьмо, будьмо!
Hey, hey, hey!
In the town of Kosyev itself, you can learn about Kosyev ceramics, which have recently been added to UNESCO's list of intangible world heritage, and they make a great souvenir. Remember, Souvenirs are the only things you need to pull out your wallet for because, like I've said, everything else is included. Hutzels are known for their woodworking skills, and we will visit the home of a local craftsman, and you can see how it's done and have a chance to even try it for yourself. And perhaps his home will have some homebrew as well.
Right now I'm in the wonderful home of a wood carver. Well, we were here in his house. He's brought us in, he showed us his work, showed us what he's done, why he's done it.
Your hotel here in the mountains is called Sokilski. It is rustic, but will not disappoint, with majestic views, all natural local cuisine. You can swim in the pool, sit in the sauna, or relax around the bonfire, while your imagination allows you to reflect on your journey so far. And what's yet to come. If you listen carefully at night, the forest spirits of the Hutzels just might catch you. On our way to Lviv, we will stop at the world's largest Ukrainian Easter egg. It's a museum with about 12,000 pisanki, and you can go inside and learn why these eggs are so important to the Ukrainian people. Remember, it's included, so you're not paying anything extra for the entrance fees. Because of our small group and flexible itinerary, we can stop for those picture-perfect moments in front of fields of sunflowers or even poppy fields, depending on the season. Along the way, our tour leaders will tell you stories, point out interesting things, tell you legends, and sometimes we may even sing a few songs. You will feel like a local with us, for sure. Lviv, known as the Paris of Ukraine, is our second home and where our office is, and a place that makes you feel like you've gone back in time and are living, literally, in a movie. In fact, the ensemble of the Old Town Center is protected under UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, which basically means it's awesome. Lviv is famous for many things. All the lions, the beer, the chocolate, and of course the coffee, and you'll get to sample it all. It's all included. So you can hop from cafe to cafe and people watch as if you are in a movie from a different time. The Hotel Vintage is one of my favorite properties, right in the heart of the Old Town, only steps from City Hall. It is inspired by the medieval nature of Lviv, with its very own wine cellar, as well as the Austrian period, and adorned with photos and memorabilia of items that recall the era. Staying at this hotel allows you to almost feel like a local and get a real sense of the atmosphere of Lviv. You'll have some free time to do some final exploring, perhaps walk up to the high castle and see a panoramic view, or do some final souvenir shopping before your tour leader takes you to the brand new Lviv International Airport, where you'll be whisked home worry-free with only amazing memories to keep you company. When I created Cobblestone, I only wanted to create tours that I myself would want to go on. So I wouldn't send you on a tour that I myself wouldn't go on. I sincerely hope you will love it as much as I do. On that note, the third toast is always to love. So here we go. So don't forget to breathe, and na zdrowie. And the best thing to chase your vodka with is, of course, pierogies. Just take a look at these. All right, let's sample some pierogies. I know you wish you were here with me, but you're gonna have to come to Ukraine with me to sample some pierogies. And there will be lots of opportunities to try all kinds of pierogies in Ukraine. In general, you'll be eating at some of the best restaurants in Ukraine that offer a generous selection of local, ethnic food and regular favorites. There is no palate that we cannot easily satisfy. We have had travelers with every type of dietary requirement that you can imagine, and we can make sure that you are taken care of. As I mentioned, your tour leader will become part of your travel family, and they will get to know your tastes and favorites, and make sure you are treated well, and so you feel like a local, and really make a connection with Ukraine, its culture, and its people. We have 2 full meals per day included, and sometimes that's more than enough because the helpings are so huge. On this note, let's look a little bit more in depth at our inclusions. Well, our tours, like I've said, include almost everything. All transfers. We don't want you worrying about anything. You, of course, have a full-time tour leader that will really and truly become a part of your travel family. A professional driver and your own private air-conditioned coach bus, which is really great because with a tour that has a maximum of 16 people, you can really relax and spread out. All of our hotels are hand-selected, centrally located, character-rich, and in almost all cases, they're 4-star, except for one. The property we use in the Carpathian Mountains is a bit more rustic and doesn't have a star system, but by far, it's our most popular hotel on the entire tour. All entrance fees are included. We've mentioned that 2 meals per day are included. All the folk experiences, they're included. And they are the key to making our tours as unique as they are. Plus, all the demonstrations, masterclasses, wine tastings, they're all included. Again, you're not pulling out your wallet for anything but souvenirs and extra drinks. But the price in Ukraine for those drinks is quite reasonable. On this trip, the Great Ukraine Tour, we have a flight that goes from Odessa to Chernivtsi, and that is also included. We mentioned it's 16 people maximum on our tours. This small group experience makes the journey super personable and enjoyable for everyone. And we don't just take care of you on the tour. Our dedicated team in North America is ready to answer your questions, take your payments, book your flights, make your experience easy, give you advice, and help with any question, from currency to packing tips. Ukraine has now opened its doors to tourism. Incoming visitors no longer have to quarantine when presenting a vaccination record or a negative COVID test, plus valid insurance on the Ukrainian border, which we at Cobblestone will be happy to assist you with. But of course, these restrictions may change, so please check your government website for the most up-to-date travel advice or contact us. We also have made a health and safety pledge, which is on our website, and it puts certain measures in place to make sure you feel safe and supported when traveling with us. Please check our website for full details at www.cobblestonefreeway.ca, and we can also post it here into the chat. We believe that Ukraine is going to be a great post-COVID destination, and here's why. Number one, it's off the beaten path. It doesn't generally have the throngs of tourists that London, Paris, or even Prague and Budapest have. Number two, prices were cheap before the pandemic, so now is the time to visit Ukraine before the prices catch up to the rest of Europe. And number three, it's a bit of an unknown destination, and traditional culture and living traditions are still alive here. And that's what travelers are looking for, something real, something authentic, and that's what we aim to deliver. Now for a little bit of additional information. Safety. Ukraine is very safe, and we have had no instances or any problems in the 10 years we've been running tours. Ukrainians are very proud of their country and really want you to go home with only positive memories. Visa requirements. Canadians, Americans, Britons, and Australians do not need a visa to visit Ukraine, so that makes it super easy. Each one of our travelers gets an info package that talks about money, electricity, what to pack, etc., so you can feel fully prepared before you even leave the country. What type of traveler do we generally have on our tours? Our tours are open to people of all ages. If you like culturally rich journeys, you'll love this tour. However, if you have something more specific in mind, we can design a custom private tour just for you if you would prefer it. So what's the physical rating? Well, some days you're going to be walking up to 20,000 steps, but we take our time, and you can always opt out of an activity and meet up with us at a later time. Don't forget, like I said, we can always do a custom tour so you can move at your own pace. Apart from your tour leader and driver, tips are included, so you don't have to worry about that. I should add that we have several Ukraine tours that you can choose from. Today we talked about the Great Ukraine Tour because it's our most comprehensive, but you may be interested in our Highlights of Ukraine Tour, which is very similar but does not include Odessa, and it's only 14 days. Or you might want to choose our Intro to Ukraine Tour, which is only 9 days. All of these tours are on our website at www.cobblestonefreeway.ca, and you can book them as easily as the Great Ukraine Tour, which is our most popular tour by far. For the record, some of our departures are guaranteed, so check the website for the most up-to-date information. Again, my name is Vincent Reese from Cobblestone Freeway Tours, and I just want to thank you for joining our webinar about the Great Ukraine Tour. Don't forget that Cobblestone Freeway Tours is rooted in a commitment to preserving culture. We create curated, purposeful experiences that take you back in time, embody local living, and connect to the traditions that define a place. So thank you for joining us today, and hopefully we'll see you soon on the Cobblestone Freeway.